So this movie looked cool, till, you know, I actually sat down and watched it. Mother Android is unfortunately brought to us by director Mattson Tomlin and stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Algie Smith, and I don't fucking know, some other people. In a post-apocalyptic world rocked by a violent android uprising, a young pregnant woman and her boyfriend desperately search for safety. So as I mentioned a minute ago, the trailer to this movie made it look at least like it was gonna be decent. I mean, I didn't think this was gonna like blow me away, but I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. I wanna see this movie. And then I watched it and fuck this movie. This movie sucked. So my job's done here, right? Good. Peace be with you. Alright, I guess I have to talk about this thing. I picked this job, nobody forced me to do it. So the synopsis of this movie is pretty much all it is. We have a world in the pretty near future where android helpers or like butlers or something like that are normal. They're commonplace. One night, all the androids decide, fuck all this shit, and they start killing people, and the world just goes to shit. Just so happens on this very night that Chloe Grace Moretz's character Georgia finds out that she is pregnant. She's not really super hyped about this because she hasn't really been too happy with the father, her boyfriend Sam, played by Algie Smith. But, you know, android uprising and all, so they get together and go out into the wild and try and find safety from these psychotic androids that are fucking killing everybody. And that's pretty much the movie. The entire time they're going from place to place to place to try and find safety so that she can have her child and, you know, they can live and stuff. This movie has so many tropes in it. It is insane. They should have retitled this movie Trope Wars, The Return of the Trope, because it is like every single fucking move they make in this movie. You have seen in far many other movies, and they were all better than this. Our heroes who are looking for safety are constantly leaving safety. It doesn't make any sense. They keep coming across these places that would be safe for them, but for some dumbass reasons, they keep leaving to go find other safety. Ultimately, they want to get to Boston because that's where, I can't remember, one of their families are, and they also heard that there are ships taking families with children over to Asia, but once again, in this world, that's something they just heard. In fact, they come across a colony of soldiers, and those soldiers tell them, yeah, I think they're taking people, but they're not taking everybody anymore, so if you go out there, be ready to split the family up. And even after this, they find relative safety, and they still leave it to go somewhere for no reason. They continuously put themselves, and by proxy their unborn child, in danger needlessly. Which, okay, it's a movie, fine, but the whole purpose of this movie, the whole purpose of their journey, their whole thing in this movie is trying to find safety. But they continuously do dumb fucking shit so as to not be safe anymore. Add on top of that, pretty much every character in this movie is pretty unlikable. There are 3 characters that show up in the very end of the movie. These were the only characters I liked, and the only reason I liked them was because them showing up on screen was a sign that the movie was about to fucking end. That is not a likable characteristic that you want one of your characters in your movie to have. Now this takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, and yeah, we've seen lots of post-apocalyptic worlds, but this is a post-apocalyptic world with androids, so I'm sure it's gonna be real different, right? No, not at all. You could 100% take the androids totally out of this movie, put zombies in the movie, and this movie would be absolutely no different. This post-apocalyptic world is pretty much like any other post-apocalyptic zombie world we've run across in the past 10 years. Now these few things I've mentioned up to this point are bad enough, but the absolute worst thing this movie does, the creme de la creme, the thing that tanks it all, is that it is just fucking mind-numbingly boring. It is not until the very end of the movie that anything slightly interesting happens. And by that point, you just don't give a fuck. The only thing you're concerned with at that point is seeing those motherfucking credits roll. And about that big twist that happens in the end that is slightly interesting. The movie also 100% manufactures a scene closer to the end to try and squeeze tears out of you. Like they wanted to get you to like cry in the end so they could say, look, we elicited an emotional reaction from you. Our movie must have been good. Wrong! your movie is not good. I don't care if this scene makes people cry or not. The implications behind what this scene is, what it all means, could in fact elicit an emotional response from pretty much anyone out there. But that does not mean the rest of your movie was good. It means you had a shit movie all the way to the end, and then right there at the end, you decided to artificially manufacture a moment that could possibly elicit a response from people. That doesn't mean it was a good response. It was not earned. It wasn't something that they built upon as the movie went. It was out of the fucking blue, and it was purposely there just to get people to cry and say, that movie was so emotional. But I don't really think anybody's gonna say that shit, because this movie is fucking dog shit. And I don't know many people that are gonna cry at the end of this movie, because by the time you fucking get there, you're so fucking pissed off that you've wasted 2 hours of your fucking life on this shit, that you're just like, fuck you, movie. The only thing that's making me cry here is that I'm still sitting here watching this fucking piece of fucking shit. I've been waiting to get that out all week. So, suffice to say, I didn't really care for the narrative of this film, because it was fucking stupid. But a movie is not just a narrative. How about everything else? Maybe they made up for it there. Come on now, you know that's a fucking lie. Performance-wise, there's not really a lot to say. The movie's just kinda, I mean, it's fine. They're just there. Overall, I'll say the movie is at least competently shot. It looks fine. I wasn't like overly offended by the way the film was made or anything. The narrative, that's a different story. But as far as like the technical side of how the movie was made, the way it was shot, the way it's constructed, all that, it's fine. The special effects are decent for the most part. I mean, there's not like a ton of them here, even though we are dealing with androids. But what we do get's pretty good. Now, there are 1 or 2 CGI shots that look really bad, especially this one shot of some drones that are following our characters on a motorcycle. This part stands out like a sore fucking thumb. These drones look very fake. They don't even look fake. They look like MS Paint clip art that they put in there and just kind of moved it around like this. But the rest of the movie's effects, even though there's not really a lot of them, they're fine. There is one effect I had a problem with though. It didn't look bad so much, I just didn't understand why the fuck it was there. These androids, randomly their eyes will glow blue. Why in the fuck would engineers put LED lights behind whatever the eyeballs of these androids are made of so that they would glow blue? There is absolutely no fucking reason in this world that they've created, or really in any world, that these androids' eyes would glow blue. They're supposed to look human, and by all accounts they do, but somehow they installed lights behind their eyes to make them glow blue. It didn't make any fucking sense, and at this point I'm just nitpicking. In a movie where they're trying to go for realism, that's not very real. It's just fucking stupid, but hey, you know what? I'm ranting at this point. Guys, Mother Android was not a good movie. It's just long, drawn out, stupid, and boring. It has very artificial scenes in the end to just try and get a response from you, to try and make up for all the other bullshit they did in the movie. It's more or less just a zombie movie with androids in place of the zombies, but it's not even a good zombie movie. The characters are all unlikable, and the performances are just kind of whatever. The only thing that does anything slightly positive for this movie is that the way it's made from a technical standpoint, it's fairly sound. Beyond that, there's not much of anything in this movie that I can recommend. And it's not really worth checking out unless you got like the biggest hard-on in the world for this movie for some reason. In that case, I guess at best, check it out on USA Up All Night.
It's not worth it.
Hi, I'm Gilbert Godfrey.
Hi, it's Yolanda on USA.
It's so big. It's just not worth it.
So this movie was like this far, no really like that far from a fucking dumpster fire. Ask me again tomorrow and I'll probably call it a dumpster fire. So yeah, I can't really recommend this to anybody. Most people out there, just stay the fuck away from this thing. There's nothing here for you. So there it is, guys, my review of Motherfucking Android. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg C and Dragon Con. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Boston.
My son, I'm going to give you the only thing that I have left. A chance.
Man, what happened to Chloe Grace Moretz? She started out just on fire. She was fucking hit girl, and it was awesome. And then after that, well, yeah, not much of anything. Pretty much everything she's in now, you know, is not gonna be that great. And in the case of this movie, just fucking dog shit. I mean, she keeps making movies, good or bad, and people apparently keep going to see them, so hey, she getting paid, I guess, so I can't fault her there. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch any more of your fucking movies, but hey, make that money, girl.